unbelievable game to look forward to. I think historic, regardless of who the winner ends up being. The Crusaders win, travelling across to come and win in Johannesburg is absolutely phenomenal. 63,000 people at Ellis Park. I can't tell you when last that happened, probably when the All Blacks played 2 years ago. If the Lions win, it's going to be historic. So either way, I think it's set up to be a memorable occasion. You can sense for the first time in a long time that Super Rugby seems to have reclaimed some of what it's lost. It's almost as though we had lost a little bit of hope in the competition. Yes, there is a change happening next year, and long overdue it is. But what a way to finish off an era with a game against probably I think undoubtedly the most deserving teams in the competition this year. Winner, I'm just going to go hard. I'm just going to go hard because the Crusaders are always in with a shout. I think the way they've played, especially in the last 2 weeks in incredibly tough conditions, is indication of how they know how to build scoreboard pressure. But I was I think slightly disappointed with the way the Lions went about it against the Sharks. But I think that jolted them into action. I think they picked up a bit of momentum. Hopefully they'll sustain that into the start of the match. To be really honest, I think it's the team that has the better start that will walk away victorious. But for all intents and purposes, I'm going Lions. I'm going hard.
Yeah, aloha from Hawaii as I take a break between the Super Rugby season and the Top League season. Not that the Super Rugby season is finished. We've obviously got an enthralling final to look forward to this weekend. Two teams with a lot of interest in Japan, with the Lions, a number of players playing Top League, and obviously the Crusaders with Scott Robertson, who spent time with Rico. Tough game for the Crusaders, all the travelling, a sold-out crowd at Ellis Park, a coach about to leave. I think at this stage you'd have to say you've got to look at the Lions to win it.
I think the Lions have shown a lot of tenacity and a lot of fights up against the Sharks, firstly down in Durban, then up in Johannesburg against the Canes last weekend as well. And they've shown that they put up a fight and really will get over the line and do what is required. Don't underestimate the fan factor. The Canes fell away after 60 minutes as well, so bring in altitude and bring in the fairy tale factor of Johan Ackerman as well. To me, this has to go to the Lions. I think it'll be very tight because it is the two most exciting teams in the competition. It'll be narrow, but I think the Lions will take it.
Perfect, thank you.
Hi Brendan, how's it? It's Peter here from Griquas. Easy question for me, Lions all the way. First of all, proudly South African. I was fortunate to be at the semi-final last Saturday, and the atmosphere and the South Africans behind the Lions was terrific, and I'm confident that the Lions can lift the trophy, and with Ackerman also going and SIAS taking over, I think the players got a lot to play for. Excited to watch the game, and Griquas are 100% behind the Lions to win this one.
A team who can sort of sustain the pressure the best, and obviously, as it goes in rugby, the team whose forwards can dominate will come out on top. But the home ground advantage will definitely count in the Lions' favour. It's going to be a close one, but I think with all the emotion involved and sort of making good for Johan Ackerman's fairy tale, I think the Lions will just squeak it.
It's got to be the Lions. You know, they've had a great run at home this year. I think they're going to this match 15 games unbeaten. They haven't lost since April last year. They showed what they can do against the Hurricanes. Great fighting spirit, great character. A lot of fight in this team, and they'll be fighting for Johan Ackerman and all the fans who've supported them over all of these years. Where they've had really difficult and challenging times. So it's got to be the Lions this week. I think the supporters will get behind them and be their extra man on the field. So let's hope for the best, but I can't see that the Crusaders are going to come to the Highveld and beat them.
Hi, Alex Lowe here from The Times. Now, it's midsummer up here in London, and we're in the middle of the cricket season, but rugby's never off the agenda, and not just because we had confirmation today of the Southern Kings and the Cheetahs joining the Pro 14 for next season, but because of the Super Rugby final. There's particular interest, of course, down in Gloucester, where it's a club who've underperformed massively in recent years, and their fans will be hoping desperately that Johan Ackerman can do for them what he's done for the Lions, and transform their fortunes and bring just a thrilling style of attacking and successful rugby to Kingsholm. The Crusaders have a huge task if they're going to win at Ellis Park in front of a sold-out crowd against a team who routinely score 40 points, and to do that on the road in a Super Rugby final, it is about as tough a challenge as you can get. I'd be fascinated to see whether the Crusaders look to engage in a kind of an attacking shootout with the Lions, or try and neutralise their attacking threat. They obviously won their semi-final based on defence, which was really impressive. Can they do that again after the travel? Different conditions, hard pitch. I like the idea of the two teams going at it toe to toe, in a bit of a kind of a try shootout. I always find it hard to back against the Crusaders and New Zealand teams. I would find it remarkable if we got to the end of the Super Rugby season and no New Zealand team had won a title, either at Super Rugby or the All Blacks against the Lions, which of course ended in a draw recently. I'm going to go with a home win. It's very hard. I think the Crusaders are the only team to have won a Super Rugby title away from home. I just feel like the Lions have got this wonderful attacking momentum behind them, and certainly Gloucester fans up here in England would be delighted. I think if Ackerman could arrive at Kingsholm having won a Super Rugby title, it would give them huge confidence that he's the man who can help transform their club from also rounds into genuine title contenders.
Well, Brendan, I seem to think that the Lions will be in a position with so much going for them, fans behind them, Johan Ackerman, the comeback against the Canes. I think that they'll beat the Crusaders. I'm not going to tell you how close it's going to be. It's going to be a nail biter.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, look, I think the two best teams in the competition have made the final. I don't think anyone will argue with that. The Crusaders, I guess if they had it their own way, they would have preferred it to be in Christchurch. However, I think they've been very smart in their travel. They arrived here Sunday night, can you believe it? So pretty much by the time it gets to the game, they would have been in South Africa for a week. So they've probably negated the travel factor. So it sets the final up perfectly. Two teams that are very resilient without the ball, but like to use it as well in front of a packed stadium. And I know that this Crusaders team is, in particular, they're very focused on making sure that when they get to this final, they don't make the mistakes that they've made in previous ones, and they look very, very well up for that from what I've seen at training. And no doubt the Lions have got departing players, including a departing coach, and they'll want to do equally their province proud. So we've got the perfect final, everybody. We've just got to sit back now and watch the two teams go at it and admire their skills, and look forward to the best team winning on the day. Look, I think the Crusaders, if they get away to a good start, they've got the defence and the system structure to not let the Lions come home with a wet sail like they traditionally have in recent times. Their defence is much more stubborn than any other team in this competition. So if they start well, they'll get the job done.
Okay, Super Rugby final this weekend. Who's going to take it? It's all going to depend on the Lions, how they pitch up for this one. But I think most probably for me, I would say the Lions. But the Lions will have to know that they will be at their best in terms of their defense, because Crusaders are actually one of the best attacking side, and they do have the defensive team to hold them out. So it's kind of a massive one, I think, for the South Africans. Obviously, we all want the Lions to win, and yeah, and all the best to the both teams, and may the best man win on the day. Cheers.